Hi, this is Gertrude Mache once again here in Wellington, New Zealand. We have a nice, bright, sunny day for a change in a very, very long time. Winter is not coming to New Zealand this year, but I'm interviewing best-selling author Kenneth Eade again in France about another book that he has written called A Patriot's Act. Kenneth, nice to see you again. What's the weather like in France?
It was great today. It was great today. And that's day for you, but it's night for me, but it was really nice today. Thank you.
Fantastic. So tell me, we have yet another best-selling book. What inspired A Patriot's Act?
This is another Brent Marks legal thriller. And this time I sent Brent Marks on a very special mission. And that is because I was appalled by what my country had done during the War on Terror. As you know, instead of sending suspected terrorists to American courts, they decided to make up their own system of military justice and deprive suspected terrorists of any rights under the Geneva Conventions or under the U.S. Constitution. So, Brent Marks in this case is going to the aid of a naturalized U.S. citizen who's in the wrong place at the wrong time in Iraq and gets thrown into Guantanamo Bay detention camp.
Oh my gosh. Again, another very topical issue and a very sensitive one because innocent people are getting caught in the crossfire with this fear of terror in America, correct?
Yes, and actually, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can be sold to American bounty hunters who will capture you and take you to military police and say, look, I've caught a terrorist. That's how most of them got there. And most people are sitting there for years and years without being charged with anything, without having an attorney, with being terrorized and tortured to make confessions which would never be allowed in the United States. And as a result, the ones that they could convict, the real terrorists, they can't make a case against them because all the evidence is inadmissible because it's forced confessions. And against the other, most of the people that are there, there's no case to make in the first place. So they're holding them beyond their will, and many of them have been cleared for release for many years, and they still are not letting them go.
Wow. That's a very sad story, Kenneth.
It, it's sad, and at the same time, I took the subject of the USA Patriot Act, which is depriving American citizens on American soil of their right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. This is the topic now where the NSA is listening to everyone's conversation, they're looking at everyone's email. It's basically Big Brother. We have no more Fourth Amendment guarantee anymore. It's still in the Constitution, but the government doesn't pay attention to it.
Now, you said something that I was not aware of in terms of these bounty hunters. We've
Yes,
gone back to the Wild Wild West by the sound of it.
absolutely. And this has not changed under our current president, which it was supposed to change. He promised when he took office that he was going to eliminate this travesty of justice. And because of politics and bargaining with the Congress to try to get his national health insurance initiatives passed, which he did, Obamacare, he has lost all of the power to do anything else he wanted. So he hasn't been able to close Guantanamo, and he's actually continuing with the Bush policies of depriving these folks of their rights, which I think it's a travesty. It really is. So I wanted to call it out, and Brent Marks does it for me in this book.
So, through your books, you almost live another life, don't you? You
Oh,
get
absolutely.
to get out into the world in a really big way, highlighting things that really bother you about the legal system in America. Is that correct?
Correct. And this book is probably the heaviest of the Brent Marks legal thrillers, but it's still a fun read. There's a lot of courtroom drama. There's a lot of out of courtroom drama. There's colorful characters. So it's a read that you don't have to be as passionate as I am, and you don't have to agree with me about everything to read the book and enjoy it. That's what I like about it.
Okay, okay. And we're still looking for some more authors out there who might be interested in collaborating in the next book. Give us a bit of a teaser about what the next book is going to be. Maybe if we gave them a bit of a carrot, we might get some more people interested
Ah.
in collaborating in this social experiment.
Well, I'd like to write what I'm working on as a concept, and I'm going to need the brainstorming of these lawyer authors to do it. Is I'd like to start a second book in the series for The Involuntary Spy, which, as you recall, is my first novel, where the protagonist has to leave the United States because he's exposed to dangers of genetically modified food.
Yes.
He's now in Hawaii, where we find ourselves in another hot spot because Hawaii passed a labeling initiative and the courts have thrown it out. So I want to re-enlist the involuntary spy to come right this wrong. They're putting things on our table that are not natural and not telling us about it. And that's the injustice that I think the involuntary spy Seth Rogen has to go and right.
And the long-term effects of people consuming these unsafe foods is yet to be seen.
That's right, because the only studies that have been conducted have been by the industry themselves, and they use the test tubes to study the foods. Foods don't react in test tubes with acid that's manufactured in the laboratory the same way that they do in your body. So these other studies have to be funded. They're very expensive, has to be funded, and the only people with the funds are the industry. We lost the sound.
Sorry, that was my cell phone going off, my
Oh,
Skype call going off.
gotcha.
I love the way you think, Kenneth. I think I told you that I traveled to Kenya last year. I was speaking at an international women's conference, and we offered to pay for 100 women from very remote villages to come and join us on a business networking seminar. And my vision was to empower women in terms of looking at the resources around them, what crafts they could make to sell. My idea was to go into a jewelry business. You notice I wear a lot of African jewelry, and
Yes.
create a website so the women could actually sell their own product and make some really good money. But that week, the United Nations trucks were coming to give away the free genetically modified corn.
Oh,
And these women prefer to stand by the side of the road the whole week, waiting for GM corn that they cannot germinate, than to go to a business networking opportunity that could have given them a few skills and ways that they could survive themselves.
yeah.
It is heartbreaking when you see that because aid has really disenfranchised Africa, I feel. What are
I
your
think
views
so.
on that?
And Africa is so dependent on agriculture, the economy, and Monsanto and Syngenta and Bayer all want to take over, basically control the world's food supply. That's what it's all about. So they're in for the really big bucks. And as a result, they really don't care if their product is harmful or not. As you know, Monsanto made DDT, and now they're putting out GMO food that manufactures its own insecticide, and you eat it, and it'll make this insect's stomachs explode, but it's not supposed to make your stomach explode, right? So,
The
at
world
any
is in
rate,
trouble, Kenneth. The world is in trouble, but I just love the way you're using your craft, the way you're using your knowledge to get these kind of topics into mainstream discussion through these books.
thank you.
So thank you again for another awesome interview. And anybody out there who knows a lawyer, who is a lawyer, who might like to collaborate in the writing of this upcoming book, please get
Or a
in touch
law,
with me.
or a law student.
Or a law student, yes. I actually quite like the idea of law students. I think they would jump on this.
I think so too. They're in the point where they're hungry for input. And I think that their ideas, being young and new and in vogue, will be interesting.
Well, we will keep everybody updated. And you have a blog. What is the name of your blog, Kenneth, in case anybody wants to get in touch with you?
It's WordPress dot Kenneth Eade. It's WordPress.com. Oh gosh. Can you put a
No,
link? Because it's a
don't
WordPress
worry.
under Kenneth
I
Eade.
will add the link to this video so that people can actually get access to you and come on
Great.
board and collaborate with this exercise.
Great. Thank you.
So thank you again for another fantastic interview and good luck with this next venture. I'm really looking forward to having a fourth interview with you once that comes out.
Me too, Gertrude. Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.